The sky over Lerna does not wake quickly. It lingers in shades of mauve and pale silver, as though the stars are reluctant to let go of their reflection in the lake below. The surface is flat and glassy, but not still, not exactly. It breathes, in slow ripples, rising and falling with the unseen pulse of something deeper. Mist hangs low, swaying like thin veils suspended between water and air. Heracles stands at the edge of this stillness, his sandals pressing into the soft moss that lines the ancient stones. He does not move quickly, and the quiet around him seems to stretch, making room for his presence. His form is broad, but not imposing. The folds of his cloak settle gently against his sides, and his eyes large, almond-shaped, reflecting moonlight, gaze not at a target, but at a question. He does not carry fire in his chest tonight, only breath, only time. The lake, as ever, offers no greeting. It has no need to. The reeds whisper together with each gust of night wind, brushing against one another like old friends who have long since stopped needing words. Somewhere further inland, an owl blinks in rhythm with the breeze. Even the creatures here understand. This is a place where things begin, again and again, without announcement. Iolaus steps beside him. No creak of armor, no voice. Only the faint pat of sandals against moist earth, and the scent of torchwood in his hands, unlit. His presence is a hum, not a call. They do not speak, not yet. A cluster of stones, half drowned in reeds, marks the ruins of something older than memory. The markings on them are not inscriptions, but shallow etchings, curved like waves and spirals, hinting at forms the water once knew. Heracles bends to touch one, not with purpose, but with wondering. A ripple glides outwards from where his fingers graze the moss. The lake receives him, but it does not change. Above, a single bird arcs overhead, not to flee, not to call, but to witness. There is no sense of task, only the shape of what lies ahead, half submerged in the dream of water and fog. A shape that does not rise, but waits. The creature beneath does not stir. It is part of the lake, and the lake does not stir for men. Heracles lowers himself to sit. Iolaus follows, and together, in the hush of Lerna's breath, they wait not for the thing beneath to wake, but for themselves to quiet enough to meet it. The night folds around them. The mist thickens, not like a curtain drawn, but like breath exhaled across still water. Nothing is coming. Everything is already here. The stillness does not ask for anything. It only holds. You may rest here a while, with reeds that never hurry, and a sky that forgets the dawn. Beyond the misted lip of the lake, a trail winds, through a garden that is no longer tended, but never forgotten. It is not a garden of roses or fruits. No cultivated lines, no gates or fences. Here, time gathers, like dew on fallen petals and moss-carved pillars. The stones lean slightly, as if they have been listening for too long, bending toward the quiet. Heracles walks with Iolaus by his side, their feet leaving no prints in the soft earth. The silence is not hollow, nor is it heavy. It is textured, filled with the faded presence of things once whispered and now simply resting. Vines loop over collapsed archways. Blossoms open not for sun, but for memory, blooming pale in the moonlit hush. A pool glimmers between two sunken walls. Its waters reflect not their faces, but the branches overhead, which seem to move more slowly than the air around them. Time drips here, not forward, not back, just down, like condensation down stone. There is no sound of insects, No rustle of creatures, only the occasional echo, not of voices, but of moments. Heracles passes beneath a broken arch, and the shape of his movement seems to repeat itself seconds later, as if the world must rehearse before it remembers. He pauses before a tree unlike the others. Its bark is smooth, almost polished, and its roots spread across the ground like the arms of a reclining figure, untroubled and vast. Nestled among those roots is a small sculpture, half covered in leaves. A serpent, head resting on its own coil, eyes closed. He kneels not to pray, not to study, but simply to witness. The sculpture is cool under his touch, as though it has never been warmed by day. Around it, the air thickens, not with fear, but with awareness, a sense that this place holds more than memory. It holds listening. Iolaus remains behind, giving the space between them the stillness it deserves. His torch remains unlit. There is no need for flame when everything is already clear in shadow. Far above, a soft breeze draws a branch across stone. It does not scratch, it writes. Heracles rises. His eyes linger a little longer on the sculpture, then shift upward to the canopy that gently shivers in the starlight. He does not speak. He breathes, slow and full, and the garden breathes with him. The sound of water returns, not behind them, but within them, remembered rather than heard. Each step they take leaves no trace. The garden asks for nothing. It only keeps. And when they walk again, the leaves do not fall. They float in place for a time, deciding whether to land or remain part of the air. Let your thoughts pause here, among the soft stones and open branches. You are not being watched. You are being held. The path bends once more, circling gently back toward the lake, where the mist now parts in long, slow ribbons, not by wind, but by welcome. There, half merged with the water's edge, lies a shape like no other, not coiled, not waiting, simply existing. Its heads are not snarling, not lifting, not watching. They rest across the stones like lilies across a pond, overlapping, breaths synchronizing with the sway of the reeds. 9 necks curve like branches in mirrored reflection, the heads cupped against one another in quiet multiplicity. No two are alike. One is slender and smooth, another broader, scaled with a luster that catches the faintest shimmer of the moon. Another's mouth opens slightly with each slow breath, not in hunger, but as though murmuring to something just beneath its own awareness. Heracles and Iolaus stand at the edge, observing without judgment. It is not a monster, it is a rhythm, a visible thought, an unfolding of a question so old, even the stars do not remember when it began. For every breath Heracles draws, the creature releases one. It is not imitation, it is communion. A head shifts, not in alarm, not in defense, but as if remembering something once known long ago, the feel of earth beneath clouded sky, the shape of approaching quiet. Then another shifts, nuzzling the still lake as though testing its own reflection. 2 more follow, their movements slower than duskfall, and then one head lifts higher than the others. Its eyes do not search. They rest open, lids unmoving, gaze unfocused, like someone dreaming with their eyes. Heracles does not reach for his club. He does not speak. He kneels, palms to his knees, spine long and soft. The creature mirrors the posture with a neck coiling. In low curves, an echo rather than a reply, a gesture of presence. Then another head lifts, and another. Each arcs in sequence, not symmetrical but harmonious, as if they formed the notes of a chord played not by hands, but by still water and memory. None of them lunge, none bare teeth. Their breath smells of stone and dusk, not of fire or blood. They exist together, simultaneously, not in confusion but in expansion. Heracles notices something else. The space between each head is not empty. It moves. It undulates with thoughts not yet spoken, with decisions never made. And in this movement, a deeper understanding. This creature does not resist. It grows, not out of need, not out of defiance. It grows because that is what still things do when they are observed without harm. Iolaus, standing slightly behind, slowly unrolls a length of linen, not for wrapping, for honoring. It shimmers faintly in the soft light, and when the breeze picks up, it catches and drifts toward the creature, who receives it not with a strike, but with a blink. 9 eyes close, not in submission, but in peace. Let yourself lie beside these waters. Let your many thoughts, like heads, unfold, not to be silenced, but held with care. Iolaus has always walked in silence, not because he lacks words, but because he understands how rare it is to find a space that needs none. He moves now with the grace of someone who has walked beside great weight and learned not to carry it. His steps are soft. His torch remains unlit. The linen in his hands is no longer drifting. It now rests, nestled among the stones, folded, as if to cradle a thought. Heracles watches him, not as a warrior watches his ally, but as one soul watches another exhale, a truth too subtle for speech. Between them is no plan, only the kind of rhythm that grows from long walking, shared dusk, and nights without resolution. The creature before them, still in form, but ever-changing in presence, has shifted slightly. The 9 heads have lowered again, not to hide, but to rest. Some curl inward, some outward. One skims the surface of the lake in a gentle arc, stirring nothing, disturbing no reflection. And it is here, in this moment of deep stillness, that Iolaus steps forward. He does not look into the eyes of any head. He looks between them, into the space that exists not as absence, but as invitation. Slowly, he kneels and places a small vessel upon the earth. It is made of clay, shaped by hand, with markings so light they seem almost accidental, like the trace of fingers across flour. From the vessel, he pours water into his palm, not to drink, not to wash, but simply to hold. It slips through his fingers, slow and clear, soaking the moss. Heracles kneels beside him. Their movements, though unspoken, flow as one. Heracles does not reach for the creature. Instead, he gathers a second linen and places it over a low stone, smoothing its edges with the same care one might use to press a leaf in a book. Beside it, he lays a branch of olive, fresh though it should not be, its leaves closed in the cool air. The gesture is not offering nor plea. It is acknowledgement. Iolaus lights no flame. Instead, he hums a sound without melody, more vibration than tone. It passes across the water like a windless current, touching reed and ripple, ear and air. One of the creature's heads shifts slightly toward the sound. It does not rise, it listens. Another joins, then another. Heracles lowers his head, not in reverence, but in rhythm, and the hum continues, a long breath stretched thin across. The silence, it is not a lullaby, it is not a chant, it is simply presence made sound. A single drop of dew falls from the edge of a reed. It lands on the linen. The sound is inaudible, but both men feel it, as if the moment itself had blinked. The creature exhales. Not one head, but all. It is the softest of movements, a release, not of tension, for there never was any, but of time. If you are weary, know this. You need not solve, you need not strive. Like Iolaus, you may simply place your hands upon the earth and listen. The lake no longer reflects the sky, not because the sky has dimmed, but because the water now holds its own light. It is not bright, it does not shimmer. It glows the way a memory glows when it returns in stillness, without warning, without pain. Around the edges of the stones where Heracles and Iolaus sit, small ripples begin to form. They are not caused by wind or motion. They emerge in circles, soft and overlapping, like breath made visible. One head of the creature stirs and draws a low, gliding curve across the water's surface. Then another follows. The movement is slow, almost imperceptible, but it marks something delicate. A change, not in the creature, but in the space they share. The heads do not rise to meet the men. They rise to meet one another, to coil gently together, weaving in soft spirals. Another stretches, not upward, but outward, toward the reeds, its tongue flickering once before retreating again. The centermost head dips below the surface, submerging in silence, then re-emerges with a trail of water curling down its long neck. None of the movement breaks the calm, it folds within it, and Heracles begins to understand, not with the mind that has conquered lions and crossed rivers, but with the quieter mind, the one that listens through the body. This creature does not defend, it mirrors, it does not test, it responds. Each time one of its heads is engaged, another follows, and when touched, not with hand, but with awareness, it does not resist, it doubles. This is not multiplication as defiance, it is reflection. A pond does not offer one image, but many each, a variation, each a truth. And so Heracles lowers his hands onto the linen beside him, not to draw a weapon, but to trace the pattern left by the dew. He lifts a single reed from the waters. Edge, its base is slick, its tip crowned with a soft seed head. With it, he begins to draw in the soil, not letters, not shapes, but loops, spirals, circles, inside circles. With each motion, the creature stirs slightly, not in reaction, but in rhythm. Iolaus watches, not interrupting. The hum in his throat returns, lower now, rounder, like the sound of wind moving through hollow stone. One of the heads slowly descends beside Heracles, resting its chin upon the moss, eyes half-lidded. Another settles beside it, and another. They are not asking, they are participating. The circles drawn in the soil remain soft, easily brushed away by even the faintest breeze, and yet they hold something. A message not in meaning, but in movement. That all things, even those which seem impossible to meet, may respond to patience by becoming again. Not smaller, not tamer, but more of themselves. In the mist, the heads begin to sway, not in perfect unison, but in mutual timing, like a forest of serpents drifting in slow, circular thought. Heracles breathes in through his nose, out through his mouth. The breath is long, full, and without effort. Around him, the world mirrors his rhythm. Your thoughts may multiply. Let each one sway beside the others, without the need to choose. All are welcome in this soft renewal. The moon does not sit above the lake, it lives within it. Its light slips across the surface like a whisper, and in that hush, each head of the creature carries a piece of it. not reflected, absorbed. The long necks shimmer faintly, not from the moon's glow alone, but from the stillness it has stirred. Between each head there is space, not absence, not tension, but the shape of what is not yet spoken. Heracles notices it first. The light does not settle on the creature's skin. It glides into the voids between, dancing softly where nothing touches. There is no movement, but everything moves. The air has become thick with calm, the kind of calm that listens more than it breathes. Iolaus has ceased his hum. Even silence must rest. Heracles lifts his gaze. He sees not heads, not coils, not challenge. He sees a constellation made of necks and breath and time, a gentle geometry of presence. He does not step forward. He steps between the moss underfoot, accepts him gently, never releasing a sound. He moves not to confront, not to seek, but to learn. And as he walks between the heads, the creature does not recoil. Each head parts slightly, allowing the space to unfold like the petals of an unseen flower. One head watches with a single lid half lowered. Another lays its neck along a stone as if to rest beside him. None intrude, none withdraw. They remain, as stars remain, not fixed, but always returning. Heracles kneels again, this time in the center, and the moonlight falls. It pools first on his shoulders, then across the linen still spread near his side. It collects in folds, in hollows, in the creases of the stone. Then, something more delicate. It glides into the space between each head, threading like silver breath through the creature's own quiet network. It does not illuminate, it reveals. And Heracles sees now, the space between the heads is where the Hydra grows, not in muscle, not in bone, but in stillness allowed to echo. For each time a head is lost, not slain, but misunderstood, another rises in its place, not as resistance, but as reminder that nothing disappears. It only moves. The creature is not made of parts. It is made of responses. And so Heracles, still kneeling, closes his eyes. He breathes into that space, letting his chest rise with the rhythm of the world around him. The breath fills him, not like fire, but like sleep. When he opens his eyes again, he does not see more heads. He sees the moonlight continuing. The water beside him holds no ripple now, only reflections of himself, of the creature, of Iolaus, of the reeds, all layered in a dance too slow to name. No boundary remains between earth and water, between man and thought, between what grows and what lets go. If you feel scattered, if thoughts bloom where others fall away, breathe. Between each one is a quiet thread of moonlight, guiding you without pulling. There is one head that has not moved, while the others rise and lower, drift and spiral. This one remains perfectly still, its long neck curved inward, forming a gentle arc like a branch sheltering a bird's nest. Its eyes remain closed, not in sleep, but in something quieter, something deeper than rest. An unspoken listening. Heracles notices the symmetry first, not in the posture, but in the energy. Every ripple seems to begin from this center, every sway of the creatures form anchored to this one unmoving arc. The others orbit loosely around it, as though they draw breath from its quietude. He does not touch it. Instead, he lowers his gaze and mirrors its shape, folding his knees beneath him and letting his spine curve forward, head bowing gently. The moss beneath offers no resistance. From behind, Iolaus approaches without sound. He places a single stone beside Heracles, flat, pale, weather-worn smooth. It bears no markings. It needs none. Heracles lifts the stone and places it before the still head, just beyond its reach, not as an offering, not as a symbol, but as a continuation, something quiet to echo quiet. The creature does not stir. Its stillness holds. And in that stillness, Heracles feels something shift within him, not a thought, not a memory, but an echo of something never spoken aloud. The kind of feeling that comes not from experience, but from presence. A recognition that stillness is not silence, and waiting is not absence. The head remains unmoved, but around it the air deepens, as if the world itself is exhaling a thought it has long held folded beneath its breath. Heracles closes his eyes. He does not seek to understand. He does not ask. He only rests, body, breath, and being within that center, the place between the circles, the moment before the movement, the pause that is not an end, but a doorway that needs no threshold. And as he rests there, the water nearby begins to mirror that still head more clearly. The ripples quiet, the reflections sharpen. Even the stars above seem to hold their twinkle a moment longer. Time does not pass here, it deepens. The other heads begin to settle, one by one, curling into their own spaces, their own quiet cradles of reflection. They gather like petals folding inward toward a single core, and that core remains still. Iolaus sits as well, beside the two of them, his hands resting open in his lap. No gesture is needed, no signal. This is not the moment for resolution, nor for revelation. It is the moment. Before, the breath between becoming. Rest in the stillest part of yourself. Beneath all thoughts and movements, there is one shape that does not change, and it waits only to welcome. It unfolds. The sky does not brighten, but softens its dark plum tones, diluted into pearl and opal, like watercolor fading beneath a slow-moving tide. Mist still lingers, but thinner now, like a veil loosely gathered. It clings not from need, but from affection. The Hydra has not left, nor has it changed. Its 9 heads now rest in a pattern that resembles no order, and yet completes itself, a kind of constellation only visible to those who do not seek it. Some heads lie against stone, others upon one another. The central one remains unmoved, the silent fulcrum around which everything breathes. Heracles remains seated. His eyes are open, but not searching. They reflect light, not question. The moss beneath him carries the imprint of his stillness. Not deep, not pressed, just enough to say, I was here, and I did not rush. Beside him, Iolaus breathes slowly. His fingers, once curled in his lap, now rest upon the earth. No tension, no gesture, just presence. The lake does not ripple. It remembers. In that remembrance, something unspoken completes itself, not in words, but in alignment. The kind that comes when all things, for one brief moment, are exactly as they are meant to be. Not resolved, not finished, just harmonized. Heracles rises, not quickly, not slowly, as if the act of standing is not a departure, but a continuation. Of sitting just in a taller form. The creature does not react. Its breathing does not change. A low exhale passes from one of the resting heads, like the murmur of a breeze touching warm stone. He turns, and Iolaus rises with him. There is no need to look back. The Hydra is not a thing left behind. It is now a part of the path, not an obstacle crossed, but a mirror passed through. The two figures begin to walk. Their steps are soundless. The mist parts for them, not to clear the way, but to accompany. Around their legs, the air swells softly. The reeds sway, not to mark farewell, but to rejoin their rhythm. And the Hydra remains, in the water, in the soil, in the shape of stillness made whole. Later, no stories will be told of combat here. No retellings will speak of battle, of blades, of conquest. Only of the lake, of the creature that never rose, of two who came and left as quiet as they arrived. The path behind them does not close. It folds back into mist. There is no ending here, only you and the breath that moves through fog. What you have met remains with you, not in memory, but in quiet presence. You are no longer standing at the edge of a myth. You are within it. The mist that once drifted across Lake Lerna now settles softly around your own breath. There is no creature to confront, no path to complete, only stillness, curling gently. Around each thought like fog around quiet reeds. You may notice how your chest rises, not in urgency, but in rhythm. The kind of rhythm that does not seek to lead or follow, just to be. Let each thought that touches you become another head. Of the Hydra, let it arrive, let it fold beside the others. None need to be chased away. Each one, even the ones that return again and again, belongs to the dream you are entering now. No voice asks you to resolve anything. No shape demands your attention. The lake within you is still, and stillness does not mean empty. It means full of space, of quiet, of breath. So lie here now, wherever you are, however you are. Let the linen of your own thoughts smooth beneath you. Let the moonlight thread itself into the space behind your eyes. You do not have to understand how the creature remained. You only have to know that it did. It is here, even now, curled not in shadow, but in softness, waiting for nothing, becoming everything. Let your breath grow long. Let your weight deepen. You are not sinking, you are settling. And beneath you, the world, like the water, holds all that you are, all that you have been, without question. Close your eyes, the mist remains, and so do you.